Cartersville-Bartow Chamber. Our goal here is to give valuable information to you that can be used certainly right now in the midst of these changing times, but certainly things that may even span beyond even this moment in time. So for this session, we've got Richard Montanaro, who is the Area Director at the University of Georgia Small Business Development Center. So welcome, Richard, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Cindy.
All right, we got a couple of questions for you. This service that you provide is fantastic, a free service for local businesses on a variety of different avenues. And I'll give you an opportunity momentarily to kind of talk a little bit more about that. But let's focus in. I want to talk first about this SBA, the loans that are available now. I have to kind of cheat here, the economic injury disaster loans. So I'm sure you're getting some questions right now about that. What can you share with our viewers?
Thank you, Cindy. We are getting a lot of questions about the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. Essentially, it's set up for businesses who are affected directly by this current crisis. All of Georgia has been qualified as a disaster area, so all businesses within Georgia would qualify for this loan if they meet, all of the requirements. That information is available at SBA.gov. There's a special section of the website for that. Although we are encouraging folks to go ahead and call our office or set up an appointment because we can walk them through whether or not they qualify. Do they have a physical presence in Georgia? They're not one of the disqualified businesses from qualifying for the loan. But loans up to $25,000 are unsecured, and I think the program goes up to $2 million. But they do require collateral for those loans, and they require an acceptable credit score. But I think if businesses believe they're injured or they're being damaged, to go ahead and apply, get in the queue.
Okay. What types of things? I know it may be hard to remember off the top of your head, but what are the general types of things that this loan can be used for? Are there any stipulations?
Can be used for working capital. It can be used to consolidate some long-term debt. There are some stipulations, but there's a broad range of things that it can be used for.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, that is definitely a resource that we want to make sure everyone knows about for sure, and maybe they're able to decide if they need to take advantage of that. But it's nice to know that there's a team in place to help our local businesses work through that process should they decide that it's for them.
Cindy, one thing, we're facilitating video conferences and teleconferences for all of our appointments right now. That's why we're able to still be in the office and still working and serving so many clients, is because we've stopped seeing clients in person here in the office, but we just want to make sure we're here to serve everybody that needs it as that opportunity comes up. So they can call our phone number 706-622-2006 or email rome@georgiasbdc.org to make an appointment.
Okay, and for clarification there, while you're based in Rome, you do serve our area, so that is perfect. So don't let that deter you from reaching out for this assistance. All right, Richard, another question is, because you all have put yourselves out there, which we appreciate so much, to make yourselves available for specific questions during what we could consider crisis management right now, are there any things that you want to offer, other types of questions that you're getting on a regular basis that you might could share with our viewers?
Sure. First, we have 3 business consultants in the office who have, a great deal of experience in helping businesses through crisis. First rule of thumb is, if your revenue stream has been cut down or shut off, you need to cut your outflow of expenses or make it mirror your revenue streams. So if you need to right size your workforce, check with the Department of Labor and see what kind of benefits are there for your employees who might be on temporary layoff. If you have creditors, if you owe money, talk to those creditors, communicate with them and say, hey, listen, I might need some forbearance on my loan payment. I might need talk to your landlord. I might need to, miss a rent payment or two as things move forward. But essentially, it's getting your cash outflows to mirror your cash inflows, so that you have cash to reboot when this economy comes back, and hopefully comes back very strong. We want all of these businesses to be in a position to start right back up. And if they're out of cash, then that'll be much harder.
Yes. And I will say, you're right. It's a lot about communication and conversations, and we have some great financial institutions and suppliers and vendors. And so having those conversations, real conversations, you should not be afraid of, because we're all in this together. Hence the For Bartow platform that we're talking about here today. So last question for you, Richard. I just want to touch on, is there anything that a business should be thinking about right now? The one message that we're trying to send is we will come out of this at some point. Everything comes to an end, and we will come out of this in some way. But do you have a tip or two for the businesses to think about now? What should you be doing right now to think about when that day comes that we're moving forward?
You know, Cindy, I'm trying to tell our clients to remain positive and stay in constant communication with their customers. They want to be at top of mind. When this economy reboots, when they're able to reboot their business and get back into the swing of things, we want their customer base to still be there. So it's a great time. Think about refining your marketing message. Think about what is it you want to communicate to your customers, and stay positive and plan to reboot and be there. But think about that and make sure those customers never forget you're there. Social media is a great way of doing that. Digital marketing is a great way, low-cost way of doing that. So we're encouraging folks to really, really stay in touch with their customer base.
Oh, that's fantastic advice. All right, Richard. Well, thank you. Is there anything, again, we started out by saying, I want you to just have an opportunity to tell the listeners, the viewers, what is the University of Georgia SBDC?
We are funded by the SBA and by the University of Georgia. So we provide, at no additional cost to the client, one-on-one business consulting and educational services, so that essentially our mission is to enhance the economic well-being of Georgians through education. So that's how we enhance their economic well-being. We have 17 offices around the state. We serve clients all year round, not during just crisis times, but we work on financial issues, cash flow management, marketing message, digital marketing, human resource issues, strategic planning. We're there for our clients all year long. And so we encourage these businesses who are in crisis right now to remember that as well. Once you call the SBDC, we want to develop that long-term relationship where we can have an impact on your business in the long term.
That's fantastic. We appreciate all that you do. For many, many years, you've been in partnership with local chambers of commerce, your counterparts around the state. It's certainly a service that is available all around the state. So we appreciate that. Richard, thank you so much for joining us and sharing this information. We'll include contact information for your office such that people can reach out easily and schedule appointments via the computer or the telephone.
Thanks, Cindy, for all the great work you guys do at the Cartersville-Bartow Chamber. Thanks.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.